Norton have to do to win this fight? Because he is fighting a younger man and a guy who can really stick.
Well, age being a factor, Ken Norton must start off early. He must do damage in the earlier rounds.
Okay, so we'll talk more about that. We have a potential champion and a former champion, and a tribute right now to a couple of other former champions, great champions at that. Let's go to ring announcer Jack Lee.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we continue with tonight's boxing program, we'd like to have everyone in Madison Square Garden stand for a moment of silent tribute to two great boxers who are no longer with us. The toy bulldog, Mickey Walker, and the former heavyweight champion of the world, the brown bomber, Joe Louis. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is 10 rounds. Introducing in the corner to my left, he hails from the Dominican Republic. He weighs 139.5 pounds. He wears the maroon trunks trimmed in black. Here is Miguel Montilla. His opponent in the corner to my right, he hails from Carolina, Puerto Rico, 139 pounds, red trunks trimmed in white. Here is Domingo Ayala. Johnny Lobianco is your referee. 10 rounds.
So we're just about set to go with this 10-round fight. Ayala, from what we understand, a knockout puncher of some repute in his 18-19 fights, in which he's 17-1-1. He has 14 knockouts. Johnny Lobianco, the referee. Montilla has not had a fight since December of last year, and in fact, despite a record of 28-5-2 with 19 knockouts, so he can punch too, he has lost 3 of his last 5 fights. Now this is considered an elimination fight for a title shot in the junior welterweight division. Ayala comes in at 139 pounds, Montilla at 139.5. Both fighters wearing red trunks, Montilla with a black stripe, Domingo Ayala with a white stripe. That is Ayala on the right of your screen right now. Look for Ayala to go to work early on Montilla. Ayala was taking the route in his last fight against Adriano Marrero. That a 10-round decision, which he won. And a warning from Lobianco, cuffing behind the ears. And immediately, Ayala goes to work on Montilla. Right above us now, 3 left hands miss.
Ayala being the younger of the two and far more the inexperienced, you're going to see a lot of action from him. A lot of punches going to be thrown and missed because this guy really wants to win. Whereas at Montilla, he is the experience, but then again, he hasn't been that active, which could be a factor in this fight.
We've talked about that time and again. A fighter just has to stay active. You can work out in the gym, I guess, until you're blue in the face, and that really doesn't get the same feel as fighting.
That's true, Barry. I like to fight once a month.
As long as you can make $12 million doing it. Ayala, once again, the aggressor early on in the first round here, just about halfway through round 1. Domingo Ayala, Miguel Montilla, right over us now. 2 quick left hands right in the corner. Score on Montilla by Ayala. good left hand by Ayala. He's got a fast left hand. And a left hand by Montilla. Rubbery legged is Ayala now. First punch of the fight by Montilla. He has Ayala in trouble against the ropes. Pushes him a right hand to the jaw. And Ayala tries to tie him up. Can't do it yet. Montilla now all the aggressor. A good left hand wobble the legs of Domingo Ayala. And Montilla still at him. Still rubbery legged is Ayala. A right hand and a left hand to the head. Another left to the head. And Ayala holds on. And that has brought the crowd here at the Garden to its feet. Another right hand lead this time by Montilla scores on Ayala. And again a right hand lead, this time over the shoulder. We come to the end of round one. Outstanding round for the underdog Miguel Montilla.
Well, that's what people love about boxing when it happens, which is the unexpected. Ayala, who was just sort of sailing along and setting the pace and measuring his man, suddenly finds himself hit and holding on for dear life. Here we see the corner administering salts to him and trying to wake up. Let's take a look at that punch in the replay. A clean right hand followed by a left, and Ayala is hurt. He's wobbling. His right leg sort of did a curtsy, and it was an involuntary curtsy. Ayala sensed that now is the time to go after him and get him, and he's trying everything he knows, and Ayala is holding on to that arm for dear life.
Well, interestingly, in the end, it was Ayala who was looking like the experienced fighter, finally tying up Montilla, despite the fact Montilla has had 35 fights and Ayala just 19. Second round. That is Domingo Ayala on the right. Miguel Montilla, who had his man in trouble in the first round. In the dark trunks, the red trunks with the black stripe. Both fighters wearing red. There's a left hand by Ayala that hurts Montilla. And now Ayala is going to be warned again for holding and hitting, and he definitely was doing that right above us here. Montilla comes back with a right hand lead.
Well, when Ayala was hurt, he was not hurt until he switched from southpaw stance to orthodox stance.
It is Ayala, the aggressor here in round two. Now backs Montilla into a corner. Another combination by Montilla. A lot of punches being thrown early in the fight. This is a 10-round fight, remember. Junior welterweights, Domingo Ayala, Miguel Montilla. Montilla had Ayala in trouble in the first round. Ayala has hurt Montilla early in the second round.
I notice what Montilla is trying to do. He works the body, he goes back to the head with the overhand right. One thing about the inactivity in Montilla is it's taking his toll here. He's not sharp, his punch is not as smooth, and he don't deliver as quickly as he normally would.
That is when it would show, I would guess, when he had his man in trouble in the first round, unable to put him away, threw a lot of punches, wasted a lot of punches, and then realized he had 9 rounds to fight yet. There's a left hand by Montilla that backs Ayala up. And another overhand right scores, a left cross scores, all by Montilla. Ayala against the ropes. And a left hand again scores, catching Ayala back on his heels.
Ayala has a bad habit of holding his opponent behind the head with one hand and delivering that right uppercut.
Ayala does not appear to be hurt, even though he has absorbed a little punishment here in the second round. Left hand by Montilla misses, and a right overhead. A lot of action early on here between these two junior welterweights. 10-round fight. Each man has been staggered. And we come to the end of round two. Well, Ayala came out like he meant business, but then he got stung again, just making a couple of careless, what you might call inexperienced mistakes.
But Ayala is very inexperienced, and he's still green a little. A fight like this with Montilla, it's going to help him out, because this guy, Montilla, he's a veteran. He's been around. He knows the ring. He knows the ropes. All he doesn't have is the activity behind his belt.
Talk again about the layoff that Montilla's had. Not that it's been that long, but it's been a little over 5 months, and I guess every fighter likes to stay active, but it really cost him in the first round, I would think.
Well, little fighters, especially the non-heavyweights, they need to stay active to keep sharp and to keep their time.
Just looking at Montilla in his corner now, just trying to catch his breath. And remember, we were only in the second round. Have gone through 2 rounds. Third round coming up here. And of the 2, you would have to think at this moment, early in the fight, Ayala is probably the better condition to the 2. Just taking a look at the contrast in the 2 corners. Montilla breathing heavily, Ayala very relaxed. Let's see if it tells in round 3. Again, a left hand by Montilla to start things. Ayala tries an uppercut that is a little bit short, comes back with a combination that scores to Montilla. And another left by Ayala. And a right hand brushes the nose of Montilla. Separates the 2 now. Right hand lead by Ayala is a little short, opens himself up, but Montilla couldn't counter.
If you notice the way when Ayala delivers a punch, he throws his whole body, his legs, everything in.
And there is a right hand that puts Ayala on the canvas, just like that. Ayala is up and staggering at the count of 7. LeBianco wipes the hands off. He will continue, but he is hurt. There's no question. Here comes Montilla again. Looked like a right hand. There's a left that hurts him again. And another left and a right to the body. And the referee jumps in and stops the fight. That's all. Miguel Montilla has upset Domingo Ayala. It was hard to tell what punch did the damage. They had their backs to us. And Ayala is protesting vehemently about the referee's decision to stop the fight. Tries to get away from his handlers in the corner. I don't think there's any question, though, Larry, that he was hurt.
He was hurt badly, and I think as much as he was hurt, his corner people was stunned at the unexpected ending here. They were looking for this fight to get a little exposure and to move on into championship contention. And this sets them way, way back, and they are just in a state of shock. And perhaps the winner is almost in an equal state of shock the other way. A fighter knows when he's being brought in to make the other guy look good, doesn't he, Ray?
That's true. That's true. I was making a statement earlier that Ayala was jumping in with his punches, and that big punch came in.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time of contest, 1 minute, 17 seconds of the 3rd round. Referee Johnny Lobianco stops the contest. The winner by a technical knockout is Miguel Montilla.
Well, I would call that a major surprise. Can't help but wonder if that's not a sign of things to come here at the Garden.
Yeah, well, Ayala has 15 knockouts on his record now. One of them is for him. Unfortunately.
Well, he's young. I think he has a chance to come back.
Well, Montilla actually had fought a couple of times some people who were not exactly what you would call chopped liver. He lost to Antonio Cervantes for the World Junior Welterweight title, but he went 15 rounds with him, so at least he's been in some fairly good company.
Serves them right for both wearing red trunks.
That's right.
I don't know why we have a trend today in prize fighting to find more and more fights in which the fighters both wearing the same trunks. Ayala is really protesting now, but he's talking to justice that has already spoken.
Well, Ayala pleads to the fans. We're going to have another opportunity to look at the damage inflicted by Miguel Montilla with what looked like a right hand, but it was really hard to say. It was a sneaky shot. Ray, let's take a look at this.
Well, here we see the big punch that's landed, and I really didn't get a chance to see that punch.
Looked like it was a right hand, but
couldn't
looked like it
tell.
landed on the chest if it landed anywhere.
Well, I thought it was a left, so There's a right hand. That was exactly a right hand, and then he came up with a left, but the damage had already been done. The left landed high on his head. Ayala was trying to make a democratic ballot out of this, appealing to the fans here at Madison Square Garden, but only one man has a vote in ending the fight, and that's the referee.
Well, I don't think there's any question that he was hurt when he was above us. While they were counting, his legs were wobbly. When he got up, he was somewhere in the middle of the ring, not really in the middle of the ring, but on the ropes in the middle of the ring, and he staggered into the corner, neutral corner right above us. No question about the fact he was hurt. Right after that, when the action started again, Montilla hit him with 3 or 4 punches to the body. That brought his hands way down, and one man's opinion, if you'll allow, is the simple fact